presented by The Emporium Live, where we try our absolute best to bring you or to bridge the gap between venues, bands, and fans. One of the ways we are doing this is by collaborating with artists and industry professionals as best we can, talking to them about the scene around them, how they see the scene, how they've gotten into the scene, and how they propose to get out of the scene to make their own scene, hopefully. And don't forget, our floor is open to live questions during this live podcast right now. So however you're listening, if there's a way to text us. We will read it and we will ask our person the question. They will answer to us. You'll hear it. And if you don't get a chance to do that, or you're listening to this on a regular podcast stream, you can just text us at our forum at theemporiumlive.com/forum. We'll get back to you there as fast as possible. And tonight, I want everyone to put on their dancing shoes and get their funky booties to the dance floor, because I have the one and the only Phyphr, who has been mixing some of the smoothest roughneck funks and blazing the six strings of love for our eardrums' pleasure. Please welcome Phyphr. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. I appreciate you having me on the show here.
For sure.
Yeah, it means a lot.
Good deal, man. It means a lot to have you.
Yeah, well, thank you. I'm excited.
All right. So I do need to ask real quick, because you're good at both equally. What came first, the mixing and editing or the guitar?
The guitar came first. I was about 6 years old when my dad got me my first guitar for Christmas, and I just never put it down. I mean, it was all over once I had it, you know.
Nice.
But my parents made me take some piano lessons before I was allowed to take guitar lessons too, to kind of get some of those fundamentals.
Get that theory down for sure.
Yeah, exactly. It helped. But at the end of the day, I liked guitar better. And then I probably started producing in high school. I was interested in modeling amplifiers on my computer. And so I got some software to do that. It was a Line 6 product at the time. And it was called Pod Farm, and it came with some free recording software called RiffWorks T4.
Yes, I know about that.
That's what I was using back in the day when I was like, just picking it up for the first time. Now I'm in Ableton, but it's just been a cool progression.
Heck yeah. So you started producing music and beats, tones, all that kind of synth modulation, high school, had your guitar. When did you decide to marry the two? I can only assume that you're using the guitar as like part of your production scheme, but then how did you decide to be live on the guitar when you're doing shows and stuff?
To be for real, man, so I had gone to music school for college here in Wilmington. I went to UNCW, and I actually ended up not enjoying my time in music school. And so when I got done with that year and a half, I actually put down the guitar for like 2 years, and I just was focusing on my other major and just trying to graduate and get a job and stuff. And I found myself at Halloween in, I think it was 2017, and I was just so blown away by all the sets, but a couple in particular. I saw FKJ at the amphitheater, and that made me start thinking about looping. I knew I was good at guitar, but I wanted to get back into production, and this whole festival just kind of really wowed me and inspired me to do that. And then the closing set of the weekend, on Sunday, it was like Grizz into Odessa or something like that.
Okay.
And that was my first time ever seeing Grizz, and I'd say that moment changed my life. It was like, nice. I saw what I wanted to do is like man plus saxophone plus mixing plus production, it all comes together for Grizz. It's like, what if the sax was a guitar? And that was the first time I ever thought about marrying, or even producing electronic music, really.
Yeah. Okay. Very cool, man. So let's talk about Phyphr Fridays and the evolution into the drive-in shows. How did that all work out for you, bud?
So the whole Corona season was, a difficult thing. A little bit of paradigm shifting was necessary. I learned about doing live streams, and I started doing Phyphr Friday, and that was just, me at home. I was using a couple of iPhone cameras and just kind of, throwing it together as best I could. I didn't want to be dead in the water. I wanted to keep reaching people and keep playing my tunes, but sharing that message of like hope and positivity. And like I felt like even though it's harder to get to people right now, it's
Hmm.
actually more important than ever before. Um, and so I just started doing those, and then I got some offers to do some live streams on some bigger rigs, like with LED lights and the lasers, and it started to make it feel like a real show again. I think that people who were putting together drive-through shows, who are planning on streaming those shows, saw me on an LED rig similar to what they were trying to put together, and I got lucky and got asked to come out and have the opportunity. One of those drive-in shows was put together by one of my best friends, John Coyne. He's works with, well, Create is his baby. That's event production company and artist management and curating just music and art and all that for our scene here in North Carolina, events and such. So he's been definitely a great resource. He put together the drive-in at Kings Mountain with Dreadlock and Kirby Bright and Cut Rugs and Sack was there. That was cool to see. And then the other drive-in that I did was me and Conglow and Kickback. That one was a lot of fun too.
Nice, man. That sounds like a lot of fun. I'm super happy that's all happening for you.
Man.
So I know that you've got some personal releases through SoundCloud, I think Bandcamp, and a few other streaming services. Um, are those all personal releases? You're doing that yourself right now? Are you on a label? Or you have anyone helping you out with the distribution?
Yeah, I have some folks helping me out. It's through, so every release I've done so far, other than the song Up that I did, that was a
Uh-huh.
single. Those have been through Sign Mine Records, which is in the future gonna be my record label.
Nice.
I mean,
Okay.
it technically, I'm just trying to make it exist. I'm trying to speak it into existence and do something. That's how all good started. That's how like Manic Focus Music, like that man releases all independent. Uh, so I'm kind of trying to follow suit. But that being said, I did Up with a great label called Couch Collective,
Hmm.
um, and I work very closely with Aftershock. I don't know if you're familiar with Aftershock, but they're essentially creating a label model that is socially conscious, that's like marrying artists and nonprofit organizations for releases. And the percentage split gives money in perpetuity off of a song as an asset to different nonprofits. You pick one for the song, and it's a way to kind of always be given back.
Nice.
So I like that. So I'll be working with them quite a bit in the future too.
Good deal. Good deal. So right now, so you got your distribution going on. You got a labels in the works. That's freaking great. Sorry. But what about personal management? Is that all you, or is that you and a group of people? And then networking is that spread out between anyone, or are you gonna be weighing that down on yourself?
Well, it started off as just me for a while. The guys over at Aftershock, Louis Piatti and a good friend of mine, Calhoun, the two of them kind of helped me with a lot of management and like keeping me organized and helping me meet like release deadlines. We've got a whole release calendar scheduled through the end of the year and into January, so that's exciting. Um, and then at the same time, John Coyne, who I mentioned, who's with Create here in North Carolina, he helps me out a lot with management and booking me for opportunities and connecting me. And there's another guy who I really think highly of. His name's Andrew Bodenheimer. He's in Charlotte with a company called Masterminds Music. Um, those three people have really just in different regions and in different ways to different scenes help me get a lot of bookings. So it's kind of you know not always as organized all together. It's like Lewis and Calhoun are working on uh, things kind of individual from the other guys, and vice versa. But we're all a team, and it's exciting to be working with them. I appreciate all their help.
Heck yeah, man. That's awesome. So I need to know what kind of equipment are you working with right now? Because on your live sets, obviously some of those times you get up there, you're gonna have other people's equipment up there and all that stuff. And sometimes some of the angles I can't tell what you're exactly working on, but like from the studio to the live stage, what do you got going on?
Yeah, I'll pull it off and show you real quick. Um, I run Ableton on stage on my computer. I control it with one of these bad boys. It's a Kai APC. Um, I really like it. I had the old version. Now I have the new version. There's not a whole lot of difference, but basically my setup's pretty simple and lightweight. It's a laptop running Ableton. It's an audio interface plugged into my laptop. That's where my guitar goes into, and I run a mic through my own audio interface as well, instead of through the house mixer or whatever.
Right.
And then yeah, I mean that's and then my controller, and that's really it. So it's pretty quick and easy. I like running Ableton a lot though. There's certain things I can do to help me mix it all together.
Mm-hmm.
That I can't do in other software. Like for instance, if I organize my set into decks similar to how you would be used to on like at CDJs or like in Tractor or Record Box or whatever, I organize it into 4 decks as well. And all those decks where I'm launching my tracks, there's a compressor. I do a slight sidechain compression, so that way when I hit the guitar and I send that signal, everything in that song ducks, but just slightly, so it's
Okay,
like,
yeah, I got you.
it's overwhelming.
Good
Same
deal.
thing with my voice, so it's like Ableton's got the built-in tools.
Mm-hmm. And what kind of guitar are you using right now?
It's this one right behind me. You can see it up on the wall, but it's built like a Telecaster, but it's not a Fender. It originally was a kit guitar. I didn't build it. I traded an amp for it from a gentleman on Facebook Marketplace because I really liked it.
Nice. Yeah,
And
I've seen you're in a few videos using that guitar for sure.
yeah. That's my baby. And the pickups in there are sort of like, there's this company that's around here, actually in Burgaw, North Carolina. It's called Mojo Tone, and they make like the best pickups in all the land. I mean, I'm so about that sound. I've got it in my other guitar too, Mojo Tones. So it's like between those 2 guitars, I feel like I can hit just about any tone.
Nice. That's what's up, man. And then I gotta ask real quick. Behind you, is that a Fritz the Cat poster?
No. It was the Fritz.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Are you familiar with
it was.
the band?
No, I don't think I know who that is.
Oh God,
There's an old cartoon movie called Fritz the Cat, and it's so lewd and disgusting. I was like, that's crazy. He has it up there.
Yeah. No, I know it's the Fritz is a band that's based in Asheville, North Carolina, but they've been really hitting the road while leading up to this whole Corona thing. They were working real hard out there. They're one of the most incredible funk bands I've ever seen. It's just
Nice.
That particular poster is signed by all of them. So
nice, very cool.
Yeah, I feel blessed to have that.
All right, so as of right now, you have a full album, personal release from 2018 called Tunes. And anyone out there who hasn't listened to it yet, it's super good, and it's totally worth playing it from beginning to end and just turning on Cartoon Network and letting the silence of that go over the music. That is a lot of fun. I did that all day today. It was great. And then you have another EP called Soul EQ, which is equally as good. There's no better or worse about the 2 of them. Like, to be honest, listening to both of them back to back, it's just a really long album to me. I love it. You can definitely hear some progressions. You can hear some differences. I think one of my favorite thing is all of your music has this very calm equilibrium and pattern to it, but some tracks, the electronic mode, go way harder, and some tracks, the guitar mode goes way harder, and that's where I'm getting my differences of genre, visual, like what you're trying to really adapt to. And you're touching on everything. You do have a very solid neuro, wet, hardcore funk vibe to you, but you're definitely at least able to pinpoint some other genres, and I think that's going to help a lot of people really dig into you, man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm inspired by a lot of genres. I try not to put myself in any sort of type of box. I mean, I do I mean, electronic funk is probably how I'd classify my overall discography, but I have a lot of stuff coming out that's glitch hop. I've been producing some heavier stuff. I've been producing some more chill stuff. I'm excited to just keep going with whatever
Hmm.
I'm feeling, you know.
For sure. And you got a clip of a single. It's not a full single out right now, but it's called Retro Metro.
Well, so the clip is all that's available on SoundCloud, but only because so it was released in along with 95 other tracks
Hmm.
that are on a compilation album called Sounds of Solidarity, and
Oh,
all the proceeds from that uh, it's a big old album, but all the proceeds from that go to the NAACP and the Equal Justice Initiative to help
okay,
the Black
very
Lives
cool.
Matter
I'll
movement.
have to look into that then.
Well, yeah, so I tried to just put a clip up on SoundCloud and then make people click to Bandcamp. It's a
Yeah.
Bandcamp exclusive just
Okay.
to raise money. So I'm not making anything off of that, but it'd be cool, if anybody listening wants to check it out, go over to Bandcamp, and it's just $1 for the track. You can also get the 96 track EP or the whole album for just $20. So it's
Oh
good.
wow, that's not a bad deal at all. So you'd be
No,
saving money buying the whole thing instead of getting like the select few.
yeah,
That's
and
awesome.
it's music from I think there's like 20 something labels, each submitted a handful of tracks from their labels. So
Very cool.
mine was released with Panky Rang Productions, who's based out of like New York, that like northern area of the country.
Hmm. Panky Ring. I'm gonna have to look into them. That sounds like some like off kiltered Wu Tang Uzi album days, man.
They they're well known for doing like the Renegade stages, like
Oh,
they
okay,
pull up
yeah.
with the bus at like Electric Forest. They've got the Panky Rang bus, and they'll have artists like all night on the top of that. So that's kind of where they got their like original notoriety, but they're doing a bunch of really cool releases for their label now, and have a bunch of awesome artists they're working with. So
Nice.
excited to see
Very
what they
cool.
keep taking it.
All right. And if I'm correct, you brought us something to listen to today?
I've got a video. It's just about 10 minutes of me performing in Chapel Hill on this cool rig.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, there's some original songs in there, but also some pretty lights and some cool tracks. So I'm excited to show everybody, kind of what Pfyphr's all about.
Heck yeah. Let's get into it, man. Let's check it.
Yo, shout out to the homie Avion. Also, shout out to Nehemiah Serenity. She's singing. That's Nehemiah Serenity and Avion. This is our collab. Love you guys.
My fears call, but love is louder than them. Work real hard, not a dime in my pocket, but I'm feeling so good that I can't stop rocking, cause I fell in love with the music and the drugs and the people and the hugs and the freedom and the love. It's more to life than what's in my pocket, and I'm feeling so great that I can't stop popping, baby.
Going on right there. And if you want to hear it again, obviously the podcast, listen to it there, or YouTube, you can hear it again there, or you can go to my man's webpage, which is, I believe, phyphrmusic.com.
Well, it's just Phyphr.com.
Just Phyphr.com. And that, I think, is the first video that you can actually see if you scroll down a little bit. So yeah, I love that track so much. It's so much fun. And let's actually, while we were listening to that, me and Phyphr were having a conversation. Let's get back to the conversation real quick, because I think it's kind of important, is burning the candle at two ends, being overwhelmed with a lot of projects, working on too many of your own and helping other people with theirs. How is one of the ways that you personally are minimizing the stress and doing what you need to get done?
It's hard to minimize the stress. At the end of the day, I think it's important in the first place to be doing music for the right reasons, though, because, you know, it can be a stress relief even if you are burning the candle at both ends. You know, it's like a lot of times I really would rather be up making music than sleeping, you know, but it's important to balance things like that in your life. And there's a lot of opportunities to collab. It's hard to say no sometimes. You know, it's easy to get yourself in a situation where you're just like not as excited about a collaboration as, you know, the artist you're working with or whatever. And just because you've got so much other stuff that's dividing your attention up, and, you know, that's not fair. So it's just important to just always communicate with people about, you know, what your true intentions are. And then the other thing is, I try not to start too many like actual physical like projects in Ableton. I like to focus on just like, you know, kind of 3 at a time. And then, you know, like I have other stuff that's taken up my bandwidth, like, you know, having to do social media and, like sets that are coming up, preparing for those. So it's just endless. You just do the best you can every day.
Yeah, for sure, man, for sure. So some of those live sets, I know you've got a lot that you've done and coming out and all that stuff. Doing them back to back like that, how much do you put into each one? As in, I know you probably have a plethora of tracks that you're like, oh, I gotta play this one, I gotta put that in there, and just switching up like where you put them in and stuff. But like, how often do you go back and kind of like realign the spine of your sets? Do you know what I mean?
Just about every time, really. I rarely play it. Well, I've never played the same set twice.
Good.
And I try to always change up, the songs that I'm selecting. Like, I don't have enough of a personal discography yet to like always play completely different of my own songs. But I mix in, songs that inspire me in there too. And I try to kind of take a different approach every time and different strategy. My favorite way to go through a set is starting either at a low tempo or a high tempo and working down to the opposite. So it's like I start with frequently I'll start at like 100 and I'll work my way down to like 60. But also I'll start at 60 and work my way up to 100 sometimes. It's just there's little ways to exercises almost to putting these sets together that helps you get outside your box a little bit. What variable can I change this time? That lends itself to whatever songs go in there.
And then I did actually have another personal question about music production and all that stuff for you. Are you finally hitting the wheels of steel? I heard on the Metro Retro track there is some turntablism scratching going on. Is that you in there, or is that a buddy?
No, that's those are like a bunch of scratch samples that I found like kind of compiled together.
Okay, cool. So you just trying to chop them up, set them up how you wanted to?
Yeah, I chop them up and then I edit them for sure. And I try to make like a melody out of those samples, like
cool. Well, they sound good. Honestly, like that's how technology's going. I couldn't even tell they were just manipulated samples. So that's awesome. They sounded great. I was super when I first heard them. I was like, dude, my boy does everything. They sounded good. They definitely added to that whole track too. So
I'm not physically scratching, nor do I really know a whole lot about how to do that yet. Cool. But it is something I'd like to learn more about. And definitely in my life I'm gonna learn how to do that.
Yeah, but it's fun. It'll take over, man.
In the meantime, I can't.
In the world.
Yeah, in the meantime, I can't deny the glitch, man. The glitch hop is too cool. I've got a song coming out in like 2.5 weeks that sounds a lot like Retro Metro, called Quarantine. And then I've got that scratch stuff going on in my track Up as well. I'll probably lay off the scratch for a little while, but having 3 songs that's got it in there is cool. My new thing that I'm really about is the D&B switch up. The second time
yes,
I got songs coming out the second time through that second drop. It just goes double time with the drums, and it's like a D&B feel. It's kind of like section.
That's what's up. So as of right now, what's the last you said it earlier, the last drive-in show you did, where was that at?
The last drive-in show I did, that was in Charlotte at the Music Yard.
The Music Yard? I don't think I saw anything online for that one yet.
That one was there was a stream. Okay. I'll have to track that down though. I don't have it posted or anything yet, but I want it for my website because it was a really good set. I felt like that was my favorite performance I think I've ever had.
Nice.
That was my first ever sold out headliner event. They sold every ticket. They had to turn people away. There was no more room. And that was the first time I'd ever headlined something that sold out like that.
Right on, dude. Right on.
Really good. And on that lineup, there was a lot of talent. My boy Conglo played. He's like amazing at beatboxing and DJing and producing music. He's got like a jungle, funk, electronic kind of feel. Check out Conglo if you get a chance. Conglo, and the other guy who was on that lineup was Kickback.
All you gotta say is jungle, and I'm right there.
Yeah, exactly. Kickback's an awesome DJ too. He really gets outside the box with songs that you wouldn't necessarily expect him to. He's got a special kind of ear for putting them together, you know.
Heck yeah, that's what's up, man. So I need to ask, as of right now, like say as soon as this interview's over, or walking down the street, driving in your car, whatever, what are you listening to right now personally?
That new Daily Bread, man. Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah, it came out on Friday. I think it's called like Purple Clouds EP, and that shit's hot. They got that. I've been really liking. I mean, I'm a bigger fan of probably Grizz's older music than I am of like the bangers, but I'm still listening to all the bangers he's putting out. And then, like, honestly, my biggest electronic influence has got to be Manic Focus. I mean, I'm always listening to Manic Focus. I feel like a lot of my new songs are starting to move, in that direction. I gotta correct myself though. Manic Focus has got to be tied with Pretty Lights.
Ooh, wow. Yeah. Okay, cool. So with saying Pretty Lights, I assume you enjoy I actually have not checked out the live Pretty Lights. I know about him staged by himself and all that production stuff, but like he's got the whole side band thing also. And I've only ever heard a complete 50-50 cut down the middle. People either love it or they hate it. So I just haven't had a chance to check it out myself yet. I'm waiting for someone to be like, oh, hey, Wally, you want to kick it? Pretty Lights live, and then listen to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I actually have I just wasn't involved with the scene in time to catch him live ever. I've never seen him with or without the band, but I've definitely just like seen every video online there is to see of his performances. I've watched videos of how he produced Color Map of the Sun. I've listened to his entire discography, probably more than any other artist. He's got to be my favorite, man. I love Manic Focus a lot, and Manic Focus has shown me a lot of love lately. But I'm excited to see that Pretty Lights get back to it, and just hear what he's got in store. He's coming.
Heck yeah.
Back. I don't know.
All right, can I give you a couple of? I've listened to essentially your whole discography, and I've listened to both of your albums at least 5 times each now, or well, that album and the EP. And I've got some music that might not fully, especially people listening. This is the only part of the show I love doing, but I hate doing, because I think a lot of the listeners are like, where did he get this by listening to this person's music? But it's the way my brain works, I guess. But have you ever heard of Timo Maas? Okay, so I'm showing my age here. Timo Maas was one of the original, I think he's from Germany, but there was a period of time, about the mid 90s to the late 90s, where he was considered wet funk. And there was a bunch of people that got on that train, and wet funk was hard for like a minute. And then 2002, like it disappeared and it became electro house. I didn't remember electro house, but everything just kind of molded in. Instead of being one of those little subgenres that stuck around, it just kind of got absorbed by everything else.
Right.
But I think that style you could really get into, at least just for like grooving to, So check out some Timo Maas, and then Buckethead, man. Do you listen to Buckethead?
I'm familiar. I don't listen to that as much as I would like to, I guess.
Okay, so there's like every Buckethead album has a little bit of everything in it, but he does have a lot of stuff that he did with DJ Cuber and Yoga Frog and people like that. And then I think after the movie Wave Twisters was released is when Buckethead started doing a lot more of like his solo stuff, just Buckethead by himself, and he's got a drum machine in the background and all that, and he will throw up some cool Florida, Miami break beats and just plays guitar with them, or he'll just decide to break dance. I check that stuff out, man, because it's on par with, or you are on par with that, really, is what I should say.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I appreciate
but those are the two that, like, every time I listen to your music, they're like flowing through my brain as I'm listening to your stuff. So I thought I should share that with you.
That's cool. I'll definitely check both of them out and explore those discographies a little. I like finding I'm looking for new inspiration right now. It's like after these next releases that I have scheduled that are going to take me through the end of the year, at the end of that, I'm probably going to put out a 4 or 5 song EP again, or maybe an album. I'm trying to figure out, what I want that to sound like, kind of.
Yeah, I hear you. Heck yeah. Well, all right. I think it looks like we are running a little low on time. So I'm going to go ahead and say thank you so much for being on. It was our pleasure. And I need to know, what is your, how are you getting your inspiration every morning when you wake up? What's driving you right now?
Man, Spotify playlists, I there's a couple go-tos that I really like. I like Westwood Recordings. They got a top 50 funk playlist. I like that. I have a playlist called Brunch and Beats that's got a lot of my favorites on there. Another one I made called Electronic Funk and Soul. Just like I like playlisting, and I like going through playlists and having people on mine and just sharing music that way. Collaborative playlists are really cool too. You can get all your friends on one and just always keep each other fresh with new music.
Nice. That's cool. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So I like doing that kind of stuff. And also, just generally speaking, when I wake up in the morning, I like to, even though sometimes I gotta work or do stuff that's not music, I try to always pick up my guitar, or at least open up Ableton, or do something with music to, just start my day off.
Right. That's always a good idea. And then even if you have work, at least that's in your head the whole day. So you're thinking about it. When you get home, done. Just right back on it.
Right.
I do that a lot. That's actually one of the reasons I really enjoy having an outside of the house job right now, is when I'm there, all I'm doing is thinking about what I'm going to write when I get home, what I'm going to edit when I get home, what kind of script I'm going to write for the next show. And it helps a lot, actually, not being in the office all day.
Well, see, it's the opposite for me. I actually do work from home. I do meetings outside the house, and sometimes I gotta go, do whatever. But most of the time, I'm day-to-day operations are at home. But not in this room. I keep this room sacred for all things.
Yeah, that's a great plan.
Yeah, this room.
Yeah, melding them all together is. I did that for a while, and then I finally was like, all right, bedroom and office have to be separate. Otherwise, I'm just gonna sit on my TV all day and be like, yeah, I'll do that in a minute. It's cool.
Right. Yeah. No, it's tough. Where you physically sit to wear whatever hat you got to wear.
Yes. Oh, for sure. All right. Well, thank you so much, Phyphr. And thank you everyone else who tuned in live tonight. Don't forget to get in contact with us at theemporiumlive@gmail.com. If you have any questions, inquiries about what we've got going on today. And you can listen to us 2 days after this live stream stops on any of our streaming services for our podcast. You can catch us every Monday, every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern time for the live shows. And I just want to say thanks again, Phyphr. Talking to you was great. You're doing good things. I can't wait to see more come out of you, man. And we'll definitely be in touch with you soon, buddy.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Much love to you guys. Thanks for all your, for inviting me and for working on this podcast. I love what y'all have going on. I'm honored to be a part of it. So thanks for taking the time.
Thank you, man. Thank you. All right, everybody. We'll see you on the next show. Peace.